Namaste. My name is Advait Narayanan and I am from the Shri Ram School, Aravali. My topic today is The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. This topic really appeals to me because a lot of people do read fiction, but a lot of people do not realize that the truth is actually more interesting. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this topic. That's why I wanted to talk about this. The thing is, let me share a little incident with you. It was a normal school day and the English period began. And it was there where our English teacher told us and started teaching us about The Merchant of Venice. This one book, this one wonderful play from Shakespeare. This play really changed the way I thought about literature, and it changed the way I thought about theatre. As I was reading through each word in each sentence, I realized that this was a play, that a play is one of the best ways to spread a message. Now the thing is, I wanted to write a play. I didn't realize it until I started reading The Merchant of Venice. The Merchant of Venice was one of the greatest stories I've ever written. But the thing is, I had no ideas to write my own play. Now, I've been in many theatrical performances before, many plays before, and I've had many major or minor roles. And that really didn't affect me. What was most important was that I was part of a team which put up a magical performance. But when I wanted to write a script, I was blank. I needed to find an idea, I needed to find something that would be magical, something that would change the way people thought about a certain topic, something that would be interesting, something that people would want to read about. Hence, I was not able to think of any such topic. But it struck me that 5 years ago, I had just found the perfect story. It was when I was reading about the history of our country, India. India has many stories to tell. India has been through a lot, India has seen a lot. And one of them was the glorious Mughal Empire. This one chapter which really fascinated me. This empire made India the largest economy in the world and made India the most powerful empire in the world. It was the first empire that started to that was giving diamonds to the world. So now, when I was reading about the Mughal Empire, I realized something. There was this one man in the Mughal Empire who was extremely controversial, a person even hated, a person who was deemed the ultimate enemy of India. This man was Emperor Aurangzeb. Emperor Aurangzeb, who was the 6th great Mughal emperor, is hated by many people in India today. People call him intolerant, people call him a bigot, people call him a person, people say that he was an extremely bad person because he killed off 2 of his brothers and imprisoned his father just for the peacock throne. And as I was reading, I figured out that a person in history, he can't be that bad. He can't be a villain from birth to death. There has to be a catch to this story. It just can't be like this. So I decided to research about this one man. While I was reading about him, I realized that he was a man who was bullied by his father and his brothers. And what I also realized was a lot of people in history have been doing the exact same thing Aurangzeb has been doing, but a lot of people are censoring this and they only put out the bad things about Aurangzeb and not everything else. So I decided to research and I went deep into the facts about Aurangzeb which were accurate, and I found out that even though history tells us that Aurangzeb destroyed Hindu temples, history also tells us that Aurangzeb built and maintained several Hindu temples throughout his empire. History also tells us that Aurangzeb was a hater of non-Muslims. But history also tells us that Aurangzeb employed the most number of Hindus in his imperial bureaucracy as compared to any other Mughal emperor before or after him. History tells us that he installed the jizya tax in India. But history also tells us that the jizya tax was merely on paper and was not collected anywhere in the empire. And where it was collected only by Hindu officials. History tells us that he tried to kill off both his brothers, but history also tells us that his brothers were the first people who tried to kill him. History tells us that Aurangzeb imprisoned his father for the throne. But what history tells us is that his father himself wanted his son executed and ordered for this several times. So what many might think that I am trying to say that Aurangzeb is a good person, which is not true. Aurangzeb is not all good and he's not all bad. Aurangzeb did kill the 9th Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur. Aurangzeb did impose a lot of taxes, not just on Hindus but on Muslims as well. So you might be asking me, where am I going with this? Well, I realized that people are spreading history and the knowledge of history are telling the people only certain things. The truth is not revealed. Hence, I took this as a challenge. I decided I was going to write a play on the War of Succession, a play which shows Aurangzeb in both good light and bad light. Everything about Aurangzeb is clear and is true in my play, so that the readers, the people who do read or watch my play, can do a fair trial and determine whether Aurangzeb is a good or bad ruler. When we look at Aurangzeb, we realize that he is a ruler. If he is a bad human being if we compare him in the year 2018, but he was a man who existed in the 1600s. And if we compare him from that time period, we realize that he was no worse than any other ruler of India at that time. So how would I like to conclude this? All I would like to say is that my historical drama is a request for all of us to not judge history or the motivations of its actors through the modern eyes. And I hope I have done that in an entertaining and in an interesting and in an engaging way, because the truth is stranger than fiction. Thank you so much.